Welcome to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries. You are about to uncover a truth so profound, so contrary to conventional wisdom, that it will challenge everything you have been led to believe about success, influence, and power. From the dawn of civilization, mankind has engaged in the eternal dance of negotiation, bartering for goods, forging alliances, securing dreams, yet most stumble blindly, shackled by fear, desperate for a yes. Unaware that true strength, true mastery, begins in a place they least expect, with no. Yes, my friend, you have been deceived. The world has told you that the art of negotiation is about persuasion, about coaxing, about charming your way into agreement. But here, within these pages, lies the secret that the elite, the true masters of the game, have long sought to keep hidden. It is the revelation that power belongs not to the one who pleads for acceptance, but to the one who stands firm in rejection. That success is not found in the pursuit of approval, but in the discipline of control. That the ability to hear and embrace no, without fear, without hesitation, is the cornerstone of unshakable strength. Jim Camp, a man forged in the trenches of high-stakes deal-making, hands you the keys to a new world. A world where you no longer negotiate from weakness, but from unwavering certainty. A world where emotion no longer dictates your decisions, but logic and purpose lead the way. A world where you will cease to be manipulated and instead learn to shape the outcomes you desire with precision and strategy. So I ask you, as you embark upon this journey, are you ready to cast aside the illusions that have held you captive? Are you ready to step into the realm of those who do not beg, but command? Are you ready to unleash the power of no? And, in doing so, master the art of negotiation like never before? If your answer is yes, then prepare yourself. For what you are about to discover will change the way you do business, the way you influence, and the way you win the world. Belongs not to those who seek approval, but to those who stand unshaken in their purpose. And that, my friend, is where your journey begins. Part 1 Summary of Start With No. Chapter 1. The Power of a No. Why everything you've learned is wrong. Understand this. The greatest negotiators in history do not chase yes. They begin with a no. Society has lied to you. It has told you that in order to succeed, you must be liked. You must be agreeable. You must be persuasive in a way that makes the other parties say yes as quickly as possible. But this is a trap. When you chase yes, you are not in control. The other party knows that you want something from them, and this puts you in a position of weakness. The true master of negotiation does not fear rejection. Instead, he welcomes no. Why? Because no is clarity, no is power, no is where the real negotiation begins. When you remove the pressure of getting a yes, you free yourself from desperation, and desperation, my friends, is the ultimate weakness in any deal. This is the first principle of the camp system. Detach from the outcome. You do not need the deal. You do not crave the agreement. You do not beg for acceptance. When you embrace a no, you take back your power. Chapter 2. Emotion is the enemy. How to remove desperation from the negotiation table. Let me ask you something. Have you ever entered a negotiation feeling nervous, feeling anxious, feeling as though you must close the deal at any cost? If so, then you have already lost. The moment you become emotionally attached to the outcome, you surrender control. Your emotions are not your ally. They are your greatest enemy. Jim Camp reveals the hard truth. Emotional negotiators are weak negotiators. They rush into decisions. They fall for pressure tactics. They compromise too soon. They accept terms that do not serve them, simply because they fear rejection. But what if you could remove emotion from the process? What if you could approach the negotiation table with the unshakable confidence of a master, a mind clear, precise, and unaffected by the tricks and manipulations of the other side? This is your goal. To master the art of no, you must train yourself to be immune to pressure, to say an no without guilt, to hear a no without fear. Only then can you negotiate with true power. Chapter 3. Mission and Vision. Why you must know exactly what you want. Powerful negotiators never enter a deal blindly. They do not wing it. They do not see what happens. They do not let the other side define the terms. No. The master negotiator walks in with absolute clarity of purpose, Before you even sit down at the table, you must answer one question with total certainty. What is my mission? Your mission is your guiding light. It is your foundation. It is the anchor that keeps you from being swayed by emotions, distractions, or empty promises. Without a mission, you will be manipulated. With a mission, you will be in control. This is why Jim Camp teaches that every negotiation must begin with a clear vision. Define your ideal outcome, define your non-negotiables, define your limits, and never cross them. When you have a mission, you're no longer chasing approval, you're no longer seeking validation, you're no longer playing by someone else's rules. You have your own rules, and that is the key to winning. Chapter 4. The illusion of win-win. Why it's a trap that makes you weak. Have you ever heard the phrase win-win negotiation? It sounds noble, it sounds fair, it sounds like the way all good business should be done, but let me tell you the truth. Win-win is a myth. It is a phrase that the weak use to make themselves feel better. It is a tactic used by the strong to manipulate the desperate. The reality is this: when you focus on making the other party happy, you lose power. The true master of negotiation does not seek to create mutual satisfaction. The true master of negotiation seeks clarity, control, and results. Does this mean you must be ruthless? No, but it does mean you must be unyielding. The moment you fall into the win-win mindset, you begin making compromises you should never make. Instead, adopt the start with no mindset. Focus on your mission, not their feelings. Stand firm on your terms, not their expectations. Lead the conversation. Do not follow it. This is how you win. Part 2 Summary of Start with No, the Path to Mastery. The system that puts you in control. Chapter 5. The decision-making chain. How to control the negotiation. If there is one truth in business, in life, in all human interactions, it is this: the one who controls the decision-making process controls the deal. Now listen closely, because this is where the weak negotiators fail. Most people enter negotiations blind. They react to the situation instead of dictating the terms. They ask questions without knowing the real decision-makers. And so, they negotiate with the wrong people. But the master negotiator does not make this mistake. The master negotiator identifies the decision-making chain before the first words are spoken. Jim Camp teaches us that every deal has a hierarchy of decision-makers. There are gatekeepers, the ones who pretend they have power but don't; influencers, those who whisper into the ears of the powerful; the ultimate decision-maker, the one who can say yes or a no. And here is the golden rule: never negotiate with anyone who does not have the power to say yes. When you talk to a gatekeeper, you waste time. When you talk to an influencer, you gain insight. When you talk to the true decision-maker, you seal the deal. Your first mission in any negotiation is to map out the chain of power. Find out who holds the real authority, what motivates them, what problem are they truly trying to solve. Once you control this knowledge, you control the deal. Chapter 6. The Power of the Budget. Why you must make them define the limits. Let me ask you this: how often have you entered a negotiation without knowing the other party's budget? The answer, my friends, is far too often. Most people assume they should never talk about money first, but this is a flawed belief. If you wait for them to reveal their budget, you remain in the dark. You allow them to anchor the conversation on their terms. And when you don't control the number, you lose control of the deal. Jim Camp teaches us that the budget must be revealed early. The weak negotiator waits, afraid to discuss money. The strong negotiator demands clarity from the start. Your strategy is simple: force them to define their budget first. How? By asking the right questions. Before we continue, what is the investment you've allocated for this? How much are you comfortable spending to solve this issue? What financial limits are we working within? If they refuse to answer, they are hiding something. But if you persist, you gain critical intelligence, information that allows you to shape the deal on your terms, not theirs. Chapter 7. The Mission and the Problem. The two pillars of negotiation power. My friends, let me share with you one of the most devastating mistakes weak negotiators make. They focus on their own wants instead of the other party's problem. If you want to win, if you want to dominate negotiations, you must stop thinking about yourself. Instead, you must become obsessed with their problem. Because when you understand what keeps them awake at night, you hold the ultimate leverage. Here's what Jim Camp reveals: every deal is won or lost based on two things. 1. Your mission, your reason for being in the deal, your clear and firm outcome. 2. Their problem, the real issue they are trying to solve, the pain they are trying to escape. When you combine these two, you create unstoppable momentum. How do you do this? Step 1. Clearly define your mission, your goals, your non-negotiables, your ideal outcome. Step 2. Relentlessly uncover their problem, what they fear, what they lack, what they need to fix. Once you do this, you no longer chase deals. Deals chase you, because when you frame yourself as the only solution to their problem, they become desperate for you. Chapter 8. The timeline of pressure. Controlling when the deal closes. Have you ever felt rushed in a negotiation? Have you ever been pressured into deciding before you were ready? If so, you've been manipulated by time. Time is one of the most dangerous weapons in negotiation, and let me tell you something. The side that controls the timeline controls the deal. Here's how weak negotiators get destroyed. They rush to close, afraid of losing the opportunity. They let the other party dictate the urgency. They react to external deadlines instead of setting their own. But the true master negotiator is different. The true master knows that urgency is a trap, and he never lets the other party rush him. Instead, he controls the pace. If the other side pressures him, he slows down. If they demand a fast decision, he introduces doubt. If they set a deadline, he pushes back, because here is the golden rule. The more time they invest, the more power you gain. Every extra minute they spend negotiating with you, every extra hour they spend considering your terms, every extra day they spend hoping for a deal, the more desperate they become. And that is when you strike. That is when you dictate the final terms. That is when you walk away with the victory. Part 3 Summary of Start with No, The Art of Tactical Patience. Controlling the Battlefield of Negotiation. Chapter 9. The Power of No. Why walking away is your greatest weapon. Listen closely, for this is where the weak fail. Most people enter negotiations desperate to close the deal. They fear rejection. They fear losing an opportunity. They fear hearing a no. But let me tell you something life-changing. A no is not the end. It is the beginning of real power. Jim Camp reveals a truth that only the greatest negotiators understand. The side that is most willing to walk away holds all the power. When you are not afraid to say a no, you send a message. I do not need this deal. This deal needs me. And that, my friends, creates a psychological shift. The moment they realize you are not desperate, the moment they see you are willing to walk away, the moment they feel the deal slipping from their grasp, they start chasing you. They become anxious. They make concessions. They try to win you back. This is leverage at its highest level. So, from now on, every negotiation you enter, carry this unshakable mindset. I am willing to walk away at any moment. I do not fear a no. I do not chase. I attract, and watch how the world bends in your favor. Chapter 10. The Emotional Fortress. Mastering yourself before you master the deal. Let me ask you something. Have you ever lost a negotiation because emotions got the best of you? Be honest. Have you ever let anger, frustration, excitement, or impatience ruin a perfectly good deal? If so, you are not alone. But from this day forward, you must never allow emotions to control you again, because Jim Camp teaches us that the strongest negotiators are emotionally untouchable. They do not react. They control. They do not flinch. They observe. They do not rush. They make the other side squirm. They are calm, composed, and in control at all times. And this, my friends, is what separates the masters from the mediocre. How do you achieve this level of control? 1. Detach from the outcome. If you are emotionally tied to winning the deal, you have already lost. Stay neutral. 2. Stay silent when necessary. The greatest negotiators know that silence makes the other party uncomfortable. Let them fill the gap with concessions. 3. Recognize manipulation. If they try to guilt-trip you, rush you, or flatter you, do not react. Stay grounded. 4. Breathe and slow down. Never let urgency push you into bad decisions. Move at your pace, not theirs. The negotiator who masters their emotions masters the battlefield. Chapter 11. The Art of Making Them Sell Themselves. Pay attention, for this is one of the most lethal tactics in negotiation. Most negotiators talk too much. They spend all their time convincing, explaining, and justifying. And what does that do? It makes them look weak. The real master knows the secret. You should never be the one doing the convincing. Instead, you must make them convince you. How? By asking the right questions and then shutting up. Jim Camp calls this the mission and purpose technique. Instead of pitching, you turn the tables, you ask, why do you believe we are a good fit for you? Why do you think we should do business together? How do you see this working in a way that benefits both of us? And then you let them talk, because when they start explaining why they want you, something magical happens. They start selling themselves on the deal. They start convincing you. They start listing the benefits. They start closing the deal on their own. This is how you reverse the power dynamic and make them work for your approval. Try this once, and you will never negotiate the old way again. Chapter 12. The final move. How to lock in the best possible deal. Now, my friends, we arrive at the final moment. You have played the game perfectly. You have controlled the process. You have forced them to reveal their needs. You have let them sell themselves. And now it is time to seal the deal. At this stage, the weak negotiator rushes in to close, but the master negotiator, he waits, he lets them sweat, he ensures that every single detail is in his favor. Here's the key. Before you finalize anything, make one last demand, because after all the time, energy, and emotion they've invested, they will bend just a little more to get the deal done. Ask for a better price, extra terms in your favor, a slight adjustment that benefits you. Why? Because after all this effort, they want to finish the deal, and in that moment, when they are emotionally exhausted, when they are eager to be done, when they are mentally committed to saying yes. Part 4 Summary of Start with No, the Ultimate Transformation, Becoming a Master of Influence and Power, Chapter 13, Beyond the Deal, How to Apply the Principles of No to Every Part of Your Life. You see, most people believe negotiation only applies to business. They think it is only for closing deals, making sales, or winning contracts, but the enlightened mind knows the truth. Negotiation is everywhere. It is in how you manage your time. It is in how you lead people. It is in how you set boundaries. It is in how you build your wealth, your relationships, your legacy. Every time you say no to distractions, you protect your vision. Every time you say no to low-value deals, you claim higher rewards. Every time you say no to emotional manipulation, you strengthen your power. This is not just about negotiation. This is about self-mastery for the man who controls his negotiations, controls his mind, controls his choices, controls his destiny. You must stop striving for approval. You must stop fearing rejection. You must start demanding what you deserve. And when you do, watch as the world bends to your will. Chapter 14. The Invisible Game. Recognizing hidden negotiations in everyday life. There is an unseen battle happening all around you. It is in the emails you receive. It is in the conversations you have. It is in the way people try to frame your thinking. Most people walk through life unaware, blindly reacting, but you must become a strategist. Jim Camp reveals that the best negotiators do not just negotiate deals. They negotiate reality. They negotiate how people see them. They negotiate the way situations unfold. They negotiate the very terms of their success. How? By setting the right expectations. Example. When someone says, "Can you do this for me?" The weak person says, "Sure." The strong person says, "Maybe let's first define what this means for both of us." Do you see the difference? One is a follower, the other is a leader, and leaders do not react to life. They design it. Chapter 15. Building Unshakable Confidence. How to own every room you walk into. Now, let me ask you, have you ever met someone who walks into a room and instantly people respect them? They do not beg for attention, they do not try to impress anyone, yet their presence alone commands authority. How do they do it? What is the secret to unshakable confidence? Jim Camp tells us, confidence is not something you have. It is something you practice, and here is how you build it. 1. Eliminate neediness. The moment you need something from someone, they hold power over you. Develop an attitude of, I have options. 2. Master body language. The strong stand firm. They move slowly. They do not fidget. They do not rush. 3. Control the conversation. The confident never overshare. They listen more than they speak. They ask questions that put others on the spot. 4. Stay unpredictable. The powerful are never obvious. They do not react how people expect. They keep others guessing. This is how you become magnetic. This is how you command respect. This is how you win before the battle even begins. And when you apply these principles to negotiation, to leadership, to life itself, You become unstoppable. Chapter 16. The final test. Are you ready to own your power, my friends? We have reached the ultimate question. Will you continue being at the mercy of others, or will you claim control over your life, your deals, your destiny? You now hold the blueprint. You now understand. Why NO is the greatest weapon in negotiation, how to control the decision-making process, how to let them sell themselves to you, how to master emotions and dictate the final terms, how to turn these principles into a way of life. The choice is now yours. You can return to the world of the weak, the ones who chase approval, who settle for less, who fear rejection. Or you can rise above, stand tall, and become the master of your own fate. Because here is the truth. Most people will never do what it takes. Most people will never develop the power of NO. Most people will remain trapped in the illusion of yes. But you, yes, you are not most people. You are someone who demands more. You are someone who refuses to settle. You are someone who will step forward and take control. And now, you must ask yourself, will I start living this? Will I practice these principles? Will I own my negotiations, my time, my power? If the answer is yes, no. If the answer is hell yes, then welcome, my friend. You are no longer a mere negotiator. You are no longer a passive player in the game of life. You are a master of influence, a force to be reckoned with, a leader of your own destiny. And this is only the beginning. Now go forth and win. The stirring conclusion. The power of NO, your path to absolute freedom, the final revelation. The secret weapon of the most powerful people on earth, the Great Divide. The truth that separates winners from losers. My friends, let me be clear. Most will never understand this power. Most will reject it. Most will remain trapped in the illusion of yes. Yes keeps people stuck in bad deals. Yes keeps people working for others instead of themselves. Yes keeps people pleasing, settling, and accepting less. But you are different. You now understand that NO is the door to true opportunity. You now see that NO is what gives you control over every decision, every relationship, every deal. You now know that NO is the foundation of power, wealth, and success. The great ones know when to walk away. The great ones know when to stand firm. The great ones know that NO is their greatest weapon. And now, my friend, you are one of the great ones. The unstoppable mindset. You now hold the keys to power. So here is my final challenge to you, Will. You continue to chase approval and accept less than you deserve, or will you become a force of nature, a master of negotiation, a leader of your own destiny? The time for indecision is over. You now know how to control the game. You now know how to make them chase you. You now know how to lead with power, precision, and an iron will. The world belongs to those who understand the game of NO. Are you ready to take what is yours? Are you ready to stop being led and start leading? Are you ready to step into your full power and never look back? Then say it with me now. I refuse to be controlled. I dictate my own success. I am the master of my fate, the leader of my destiny. Now go forth, my friend. The world is yours to conquer. Thanks for listening to Book Buzz reviews and summaries.